Hi guys, it's Weedle. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to review the Nergal for you real quick. But hey, before I get started, like every other internet beggar out there, I'm going to ask you to like and subscribe because I got a new channel and would like to grow it. And my main goal is to help players out. So if I succeed at that, I appreciate it. But if you want to help me succeed at that, like and subscribe, please. All right, so. The Nergal, is it good? Well, I've seen quite a few people cover it. No one seemed to love it. I actually have a different opinion. I like this tank. My main problem has been the mobility. It is slow. And, I do have a turbo. I actually have a bounty turbo on it. And, as you see, most tanks are going to seem to kind of leave this around. I'm basically the same speed as a Badger. Okay, I'm slower than the Badger. But that being said, I found this tank to be rather comfortable, and especially with the new map changes where you can actually get into some of these locations quite easy, where I'm going to take the long route right here. You can get to the fights fairly safely, albeit just a little bit slower than everybody else. The DPM on this thing, I know it got nerfed, and it might have turned some players off. I'll be honest, had they released this tank pre-nerf, I think it probably would have been a little overpowered. You would have put something in there with like 3200 DPM with a rammer or something. This thing would have absolutely been tearing tanks apart. And as it is right now, I think it actually, ironically, because of the weird alpha on it, that 350, it has a faster reload than a lot of your premium counterparts. And as you can see, as a armor, it will hold up, it will troll. And look at my gun handling on this one. It just behaves. Kind of like every British tank, You get into it and they're like, oh, gun just hits what you're aiming at most of the time. You do need to know weak spots, but as you see, you can play around with it. That 10 degrees gun depression on the entire way around the tank makes it feel pretty comfortable on most maps. You don't run into these awkward situations where you're trying to get the gun to work around a ridge or a hill or something like that. It's easy to get into position. The reload time, because of the 350 alpha, allows you to outtrade most people, because 350 is kind of weird in that it's not so much lower than most of your tier 8 premiums, but because it is 350 and you have reasonable DPM, you end up firing 2 to their 1. And in a minute we'll see kind of how this thing trades with that Leopard, and you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. Now the Leopard, by any means, the tier 9 version, doesn't have bad DPM. It's not as good as the tier 10, well, because it's a tier lower. Oh, by the way, have you subscribed yet? I know I've asked that, but it really helped me out. Yeah, we're just making it work. Already up to 2,500 damage, and the fight's been going. But yeah, watch this here with this Leopard, and I'm just going to keep driving at him. Yes, he's going to be able to pin me. It's not going to be that difficult for him, but as you can see, I can actually trade with him pretty effectively. Able to wiggle my track right there. And boy, look at this thing. Only the Brits could design a tank so ugly. I mean, it looks like a upgraded version of the TOG. Like they took the TOG, I think they took like a naval ship and they decided to make it a tank. This thing looks like they took a bathtub, put tracks on it and a turret, and called it a tank. I don't know. At least they got a cool skin on it. I mean, look, what is that supposed to be, like fire, lava? I don't know, maybe both. Just kind of behaves. Now in a minute, I'm not gonna get a whole lot more damage. I mean, I get like another 800, I think, but I'm going to show y'all some of the gun handling of this tank, and as you can see, like right here, this is, I mean, I would be fairly hard to penetrate from right here. I've heard people say it's got a weak lower plate. Here's my response to that. Hey, a weak lower plate? You mean like 98% of other tanks in the game that have weak lower plates? Really? That's the gripe? Everything's got a weak lower plate. I mean, let's be real. But that being said, the upper plate's really good. The turret is pretty good, and because of the weird like shape of it, everything's kind of rounded. It will bounce a lot of rounds, especially if they're firing APCR. Yeah, there's one. It's what, almost 400 meters, something like that. Like I said, behaves like a British gun, .33 accuracy. I do not feel the need to run a vertical stab or an aiming device or vents or anything on this thing to get it better. I believe you can run a pretty standard build of hardening, rammer, turbo on it, and you're gonna do just fine. The armor, like I said, it will bounce some things. And we're gonna see like what this does. This is almost, this shot's gonna be almost at max view range right here. Yep, right there. Just works. I'm gonna finish this game with 3,905 damage. Didn't pick up any kills. It was pretty much the worst matchmaking possible. I mean, come on, they had a 277, a Hori 1, a Super Conk, a Foch 155, an E77. Even at tier 8, doesn't get any better. 2 BZ-176s, a Grom. They have 2 ship packs on their team. I mean, a Char tier 4. I saw this team, the enemy team at the start, and my first thought was, can I re-roll and get a different, like, enemy team comp, please? Wargaming? But I'm going to thank Wargaming. You actually gave me a pretty decent free tank. It only took me like 15 hours to unlock. I'm not going to complain about it. The rest of the rewards were kind of mediocre, but hey, this thing's leaps and bounds better than the Obsidian was last year, so I recommend getting it. Play it some. Pretty decent tank. I had some fun playing it. That's going to cover it. And I'm going to ask one more time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Please. Talk to y'all later.